Welcome back to Winnipeg Hockey Talk. The season may be over for the Manitoba Moose, but there's still no shortage of things to talk about around this organization. Between the draft lottery, the upcoming off-season, and some major questions about the future of this team, there's a lot up in the air right now. And this week, a big part of the conversation is coming directly from you guys, with plenty of viewer questions about the roster, management, coaching staff, and where the Winnipeg Jets go from here. So let's get into it with thought number one. We're taking a look at the Moose. In thought number one, the Manitoba Moose are now done for the season after the Grand Rapids Griffins beat them 3-1 in a pretty competitive series. The Moose competed hard, but couldn't match the Griffins' firepower.
Yeah, Grand Rapids was just a deeper team with, good Detroit Red Wing prospects that were a little further along in their development, and it showed. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't a total loss. It's never a total loss. It's just the minors. But it's all about getting ready for the big club, making it to the show. But a lot of the young kids showed me that they can compete and aren't all that far away. I had some concerns about some guys, but then I liked a lot of what I saw. They're a hardworking team with men, or they offensively challenged.
Yeah.
And that's the scary part because, we got young guys like Barlow and we got Yeager, we have Lambert, and they didn't do a lot scoring-wise. They actually, to me, it seems like they played better offensively when they were up with the Jets because they had better players to play with and mix with. But it just showed that Detroit's guys were more seasoned and a little more skilled. But the work ethic was good, and that's the main thing.
Yeah.
You want your young guys to have a good foundation for when they come up. They're not a black hole defensively. But no, they were okay.
Thought two, Jets. The NHL draft lottery was held last Tuesday night, and the winner of the first overall pick was the Toronto Maple Leafs. But the big winner was the San Jose Sharks. The Sharks moved from 9th to the 2nd spot and right into Swedish winger Ivar Stenberg. The Jets dropped one spot to number 8.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who are really pissed off because of the Toronto hate.
Yeah.
I could care less about that one, but the one that really pissed me off was us moving down. And if you looked at when the ping pong balls were going up the chute, Toronto's was right there and we were right behind them in the chute. We could have been that close. It's too bad they weren't picking them in order of the chute. But what really got me is like how much more luck does, or not luck, but like San Jose. They go from 9th to 2nd. They're going to probably have Stenberg fall on their lap, and unless they go for one of those elite defensemen, which they need. But I still think they'll draft the best player available. We get bumped from 7 to 8. San Jose's been garbage for 10 years, just accumulating first overall picks, Celebrini and some of the guys they got, there. And then they fall into this, and it's just like that's one of the teams. They're going to be tough to beat in the Western Conference in a couple of years. And that even makes a lot of the questions from our viewers and our friends and stuff even more important now is like with the Jets, like they're saying that it's our window to win right now type of thing with the vets that we have, and a lot of guys are asking. The most common question we had asking was about whether the Jets should be tearing it down and rebuilding.
Yeah.
Because we ain't going anywhere in the future especially with that lot. It's not like it's one lottery pick that sealed this. What it is a combination of, Anaheim, Utah, the old Phoenix team, and San Jose just getting younger, faster, and better. And it's going to be tough to compete. So, yeah, I was not happy. I was not happy with the lottery. Mm-hmm. I didn't even care if I won it. I just don't like that San Jose jumped 9 spots from 11 to 2,
that's crazy.
And then we got bumped out. We're going to get a good player. Mm-hmm. But, no, it's just that San Jose just had a really good stud probably fall into their lap. So, and when it rains, it pours for Jets fans, that's for sure.
Yeah, you were talking about those big jumps last week. That can happen. So
yeah, it happens. Go. Yeah, there you go. 9 to 2 is pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
All right, on to thought 3, the IIHF.
International Ice Hockey Federation.
There we go.
Yeah.
The World Hockey Championships start this Friday in Zurich and Fribourg,
Yep.
Switzerland.
What a nice place to have a World Championships. Like that's
Yeah.
one of those bucket list places you'd like to go to
Totally.
watch some hockey. Nice, beautiful country, and
Just to travel.
not that I know, but just from the pictures and just the Jets have. Well, let's see who they got playing. From on Team Canada, the Jets have Scheif, Gabe
Nice.
Velarde, Dylan DeMello. Who else do they have? Probably, I'd be shocked if Nino wasn't playing for Switzerland. This is going to be, for him, it's going to be like a party every night. The most interesting man in the world. And I'm not sure what we had for the other nationalities representing Winnipeg. Maybe what I'll do is I'll look and we'll talk about it in a month. Spoiler.
Yep.
But I mean, I love international hockey, and I love the World Championships, and it's nice to have some Jets to watch. So I'll be watching.
That'll keep things interesting for a bit.
Yeah, it does. Keeps you. Yeah, exactly. Since I really, what the sign says back there, I really don't give a fuck about the playoffs. The only thing I care about is the guys in my hockey pools, and if they're going to make me a few bucks. But as far as a preference of who wins, I really know how you tell is when you're watching a game that means nothing to you completely, and you start leaning one way. Then you go, okay, I guess I'm pulling for them a little bit.
Yeah.
I haven't hit that yet though, so we'll see what happens.
All right, on to thought number 4, Jets. We have a poll question for you to check out on the article.
Yeah, this is a big one, and a lot of this, just another spoiler here, kind of. A lot of the questions that we were asked today by lots of different people, kind of all revolve around this poll question. I had thought about the poll question before we even got the questions. I went, funny.
Everyone's on the same page
Everybody
here.
is actually on the same page. Yeah, for sure. So go ahead.
So there's a lot of discussion in Jetsville whether Kevin Cheveldayoff should use the 8th overall pick in this year's draft or trade it for a second line center. What do you think?
Well, read the options you have. This is the part that I like.
The options are yes, no, and why settle for a second line center?
Exactly. Why would you settle? Get the best centerman you can get out there. And if you got to top it up with a prospect or something, enough of this settling. Be bold. Show some sack and go after somebody. You know what's funny? I know that real hockey and GMs, you can't treat it like fantasy hockey. But in a way, you kind of can if you really want to. If there's a guy out there that you think makes a big difference to your team, and if he's in the other conference and you overpay big time for him, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
You throw a couple draft picks at him, throw a prospect at him, and then throw another one at him and force him to trade that guy. And I'm not talking some aging veteran. I'm talking about some stud kid that you really like that's maybe 23, 24, and you're going to get 10 years out of him.
Yeah.
Who cares if you overpay? If you get the guy you want, it's not an overpay. And especially when you're dealing prospects and draft picks. I'm a big guy. I like draft picks and I like protecting draft picks, but they're technically nobody's until they make it. They're all question marks, right?
Yeah, that's true.
If you can get an established guy, and I'm not talking like a middling second, third line guy and a second, third line center where you're centering, studs. Go for a stud, man. Show it. Look at some team that kind of, like the Jets, should be in a rebuild. Look for like a young centerman and throw everything you got at them. Force their hand. I haven't seen a team do that for a long time, and I haven't seen the Jets ever do that. And like I say, I mean, it's not fantasy hockey, but I bet you it would work. You got to see what the guys, what the GMs with their pain tolerance is. But like, why settle for a second line center? I don't want a second line center. I want a first line center, and then Scheif can be the second line center, and he can play his days out, and and he's still got a few good years, and he'd be a good mentor to a young guy. Maybe we'll see. Yeah. But yeah, for sure. Let's stop settling, Chevy. Let's show some sack and let's go for the throat somewhere.
Exactly.
But then again, that's just me with my wishful thinking.
All right, on to thought 5.
Yeah.
Jets. Jonathan Taves is among the 3 finalists for the 2025-2026 Bill Masterton Memorial Trophy. The other finalists are Rasmus Dahlin and Gabriel Landeskog. What is that?
Landeskog, yeah.
Landeskog. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Yeah.
He's a Swedish, and he's a captain of Colorado. He's been out of hockey for almost a year and a half with a leg injury.
Oh,
And he's
boy.
actually played the whole year, and he's been healthy, so good for him. And
There you go.
I really like him. He's a gritty, tough guy that was putting up points. His
Nice.
points weren't all that great this year, but then again, he wasn't playing exclusively with Nathan McKinnon, but he's a nice player, character guy. I think it's probably Taves is to win with and what he's gone through. Rasmus Dahlin, I don't know what his adversity would have been. I don't know enough about him. I just know he's a real good player.
Okay.
But Landeskog, I know for a fact, has been injured for almost 3 years, in and out of the lineup. Missed a full season and came back this year. So, yeah, good to those guys. Good for those guys. It's a
What is this trophy? Like, what is it? Who is it after? What is it for?
remember we talked about Bill Masterson? He played for the
Yes.
Minnesota North Stars, and he died on the ice.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
and that was
Coming back
back
to me
in
now.
the 70s. I betcha.
Mm-hmm.
But so
Yeah, it's coming
they,
back to me now. Yeah.
so that's they have that trophy is awarded on his behalf, and his family is very proud of it. And it's
Oh yeah, you say there exemplifies the qualities of
Yeah.
perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication to hockey. There we go.
Yeah. So
Missed the line.
yeah.
Cool.
So nice to be nominated, and I think
Yeah.
Taser will win it, so he can ride off into the sunset. Or I got a funny feeling Jonathan Taves is going to end up either in Winnipeg's or Chicago's front office as an assistant GM, and they're going to groom him for the big job. That's what I think is
Wow.
going to happen. So
It's a big prediction.
yeah, well, it's not that big a prediction. It's
No.
well, he's a hockey guy. I'll tell you one thing: when he retires, you know who's going to be a GM? Mark Scheifele.
Oh yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a hockey rink rat, a hockey nerd, a hockey student
Would
of the
make
game,
sense. Yeah.
loves the game. He's a disciple of Dale Hawerchuk, who was loved by Winnipeggers, and I could totally see him pulling a Stevie Eiserman like Detroit all those years, and maybe getting into management. But we'll carry on because we've got lots of questions.
We do. On to thought 6.
Yeah, I almost forgot about this when I threw it in last minute. I had it written down on a scrap of paper, and when I sat down at the desk, I went, "Holy shit! I better put that in there." But
Yep.
this is sick.
I know. So, yeah, thought 6, NHL. The NHL salary cap for 2026 is set to be $104 million, with $76.9 million being the floor. Wow.
The floor.
Like,
when we first came into the league, the floor, the 76.9 was just say 77 million. I believe that was the ceiling at that.
Yeah.
The floor was like
yeah.
32 or
Half of
35.
it.
We talked about that one of the earlier podcasts, but it's amazing how the money has climbed, but
I'm shocked.
it's all based on hockey related revenue, and what it may sound ridiculous, but it's not like they're just arbitrarily saying we're going to raise this and you got to pay it. It's based on the revenue.
Yeah.
So if they're generating that much revenue, anything that's hockey related is it's factored into the salary cap, and I hate to say it, it's a lot of money, but it kind of works. And if there's teams that can't afford it on the lower end, they do have what do they call it, salary sharing or whatever. So they kind of filter some money down to the lower teams.
Mm-hmm.
And Winnipeg's a small market team that's always spent to the cap, but I don't know how much longer they can continue doing that. They'll spend their money, and they'll always spend money on good players because they have to be competitive. So that's that. We'll have to move on to.
Yeah, those are big numbers.
They are big numbers for
Big
sure.
numbers. Well, now on to our viewer questions.
Yes.
And boy, do we have a lot.
Yep.
Which is awesome. Thanks for sending them in, y'all.
Yeah, I had to get on them a little bit today, but the boys came through.
There we go. All right, we'll start off with our good old research assistant, Ben. Ben has a question. Having seen the Moose playoff run, did the performances of Milic and Dom convince you that we don't need to re-sign Comrie and let one on those two backup heli?
That's a question I get a lot of, and I just want to just mention something to you guys. It's amazing how everybody's kind of on the same wavelength.
No kidding.
Got a lot of questions that were almost identical or similar, so if I don't mention your name and I mention the question under somebody else's, I kind of compacted them, and they'll, you know, like there's a common thread today in the questions. And I tried to pick some questions that were a little bit different, but
Sure.
as far as the goaltending goes, absolutely. These guys are never, I mean, there's not the one position where you can actually play in the minors and play for a lot of years without not coming up, and I think we discussed this. It doesn't even matter what league your goaltender plays in. Tons of shots and saves and all that, it doesn't matter. Some of the other positions it does matter, but not in goal, because goal is goal. And so technically, no, there's no rush to get those guys up, but it all depends what the organization's comfort level with Comrie is. Now, as a fan, I'm not overly comfortable, but then again, if they signed him for a 1-year contract, I understand why, right?
Right.
If they signed him for 2 or 3, I'd say, come on, you guys, like, grab a brain, you know? I mean, you got Dom and you got Milic, you know, maybe 1 year away, maybe 2 years away.
Yeah.
But I think they might like the setup with the Moose. They kind of goaltend, they kind of timeshare, you know. They both play a lot, and that's a good way to groom them. You don't have, that'd be terrible if you had your coach down in the minors, all he thought about was winning, and just played one guy and the other guy's not developing. I mean, that's why you're there, to develop, right? Have they developed enough? For my way of thinking, I'm going to say yes. But if I was a betting man, which I am,
Which you are.
I would just like to see them have an open competition and a fair competition. I mean, I know Comrie would like a contract, but is there any way he comes to camp on a PTO, professional tryout? You know, and have to compete with the guys. The other guys have contracts that were in the minors. Do the Jets sign Comrie to an AHL contract? Would he say, well, you know, I live in Winnipeg, my family's here, you know, it's a pay cut, right? But
maybe that's what he
well,
deserves salary-wise for how much he's showing up.
yeah, I mean, that stretch, I don't want to belabor it, but that stretch where he was the man, he shit the bed, and few wins there, we're in the playoffs. But then after the Olympic break, after he got his act together, he was actually pretty solid. And he may have saved his job for 1 more year. So we'll see what happens. Will they announce the signing of Comrie before July 1st? Will they wait right till July 1st? Who knows? But let's move on to the next question. I know we got lots. Like I said, guys, a lot of repetitive questions, and I'll try to answer them all. You know, I'll answer them all. And I know what a lot of guys want to hear and don't want to hear. I'll tell you what I think. You know.
Yep. All right, from Nate. Why don't they bring back the Catelli Kids Club? You said you forgot about this.
When he sent that, I just about fell off the chair, and they went, "Oh my God, I forgot all about that." And he's awesome. And like Nate said, he goes, "Like, you're a kid, right? I don't know." And I said to him, "Do you remember what the age limits for that was? Because I don't remember." And he says, "But can you imagine being a kid and, like, you know, you go out for lunch, and the 2 names he mentioned were Laurie Boschman and Peter Taglianetti, and I'm wondering if he might have won one of those things and went for lunch with one of those guys, because very funny he picked those 2 particular names, right?" But anyway, that would be so cool. Keeps the young kids engaged, and I mean, really, it's what it's all about, because it's all about layers, right, and generations. The kids that fall in love with the team now are the kids that are going to be paying the big bucks in 20 years, right?
Yep.
So yeah, thanks for that one, Nate. That gave me a chuckle.
All right, from Andy. Do you think Scott Arniel is going to be the coach next season?
Well, this is funny how the Jets just let stuff slither under their rug. There hasn't been a word said since the exit meetings, right?
Of course.
And Chevy said, well, we really haven't made a determination on the coaches, blah, blah, blah. And is that just the way, like, out of sight, out of mind, we don't say nothing, we'll let it slide? I know that owners and even GMs, you don't like getting rid of guys when they have term on their contract because you're just taking money and giving it away. If I was being honest, I'd say that their nice, decent, respectable winning record after the Olympic break probably saved O'Neill's job, and dare I say, probably saved Chevy's job.
Yeah.
But the Jets, you never know, though. You never know what Mark Shipman's thinking. When Mark Shipman is very loyal, probably, and we've said this a million times, he's too loyal and too faithful. He doesn't run his business like a cutthroat entity. It's like it's the family thing, and some of it's good, some of it's bad. I just like to see a little more cutthroat and a little bit more grind in the ownership too.
Shake something up. Shake up your life.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
From Eric, why don't the Jets tear it down? Not winning it all with a bunch of mid-30s and no depth.
Well, I'm sure, Eric, this for sure this was a thought, and this thought would have been 2 years ago in the season before they signed Hellebuck and Scheifele to those extensions, right? That's probably where they sat, excuse me, as an organization and made a decision. Do we tear it down, trade these guys away for prospects and draft picks, or do we take one more kick at the cat, to use an overused saying over here on Winnipeg Hockey Talk? Because obviously the Jets like that core. They like their core of Hellebuck, Scheifele, Lowry. I consider Gabe Velarde part of the core, Josh Morrissey. They think that, they probably thought that, they made the decision. They thought about it, and then they decided to, let's keep it together, sign these guys, and let's not tear it down. Let's rebuild on the fly. And unfortunately, their rebuild was a joke. So that's where we are today. And this was a real popular question today. But Eric, I think they made the decision 2 years ago. They're probably going to ride it out one more year, and we'll see what happens after this year. I mean, who knows? I mean, the competition's getting tough in the West, and we're not getting any younger. So
that's right.
A lot of guys have an appetite for a teardown and a rebuild. I don't know if I'm one of them. I kind of am. A lot of teams, what they do is they look. You can look in the future a little bit, and you can tell when there's a generational guy coming, like when there was a McDavid or whatever, a Connor Bedard, and you go, holy shit, he's available in 2 years. Let's start working on that now. And they make that decision. I don't know if there's enough. There might be that one kid, can't remember his name now, that might be enough to get them to maybe start looking at a rebuild. But can you imagine getting a kid like Celebrini last year, or 2 years ago, actually, San Jose, boy, oh boy. But yeah, it's a calculated risk. I know that Chipman has an appetite. He doesn't even care, just make the playoffs and get a couple home games, get some revenue, but you get bigger revenue if you go to the Cup. Get 60. You get a lot more home games. More. Don't worry about 2 or 3. So I'm going to say they made a decision 2 years ago, unfortunately, and as of right now, they're going to stick to it.
There you go.
Yep.
From Ben, wouldn't bringing back a guy like Kupari, who has been and already in the system, be another that we can add without any cost?
Well, that's funny because we talked about the Jets getting slower and older, and that Rasmus Kupari, I liked him. He could skate like the wind. He skates like Kepke. I don't know what his skill level was at yet. He looked, because he was kind of a guy that was always injured in the lineup, out of the lineup, but he could fly. And to me, the biggest thing is you can overcome a lot of warts in your game if you can skate like these guys, right?
Yep.
I think he signed in. He didn't sign in the Swedish or Finnish league. I think he signed in a Czech league or something. Boy, I think he signed for 2 years, and I think he's been gone for 2 years now. So I'd love to see him come back. I'd love to see the Jets make a pitch to him, and oh, he'd be a terrific third line right winger beside Lowry. Yes, Ben. Yes. Well, Ben and me, we've talked about him, and we're both on the same page. We're both big fans of him, but he's still a little bit of an unknown. So, yeah.
From Andy, what's your opinion on the free agency, and do you think we're going to pick somebody up, or are they going to trade some other players away?
Well, yeah, here's the age-old thing is like, and I'm just as bad for this, let's sign this guy and let's sign this guy, but the only thing is, Ben, or Andy, you got to remember a pro team can have 50 contracts, right? Including your AHL guys and all that, so...
Wow.
You just can't go out nilly-willy signing guys. You have to have spots for them. So, I mean, they definitely this year, they're talking about improving and bringing in, maybe trying to sign or trade for a couple top UFAs. You got to move somebody out, whether it's Nemesnikov or Nino. Even Nino, there's guys that got to go, right? They should be getting rid of DeMello.
Yesterday.
That's all money on the books. You got to move these guys. I mean, they overspent and gave too much term. I mean, there's two ways to overspend on a player. You can overspend with actual money, like per year, and you can overspend with term. You give a guy DeMello's age 5 years, like, what are you thinking, guys? Come on, he was already declining 4 years ago when you signed him, and he's just getting slower and worse every year. So I think they're going to try to make a major splash in free agency. And like most GMs will tell you, some of the biggest mistakes made are July 1st. But the Jets are so desperate to be relevant and get themselves back to, into the playoffs and get their fans believing they may do something stupid. You don't have to do something stupid in free agency. Like I said, you can do it as a hockey trade.
Yeah.
The thing that's nice about free agency is it's only money. It's a free player, right? Like Carolina last year, they got Nick Ehlers for free. It just cost them money, and it didn't cost them a lot. That's the part that just breaks my heart. I might cry tonight when I go to bed. But, who's out there right now? Alex Tuck, big winger, I like him, but we need a center. I don't know. Yes, I think Chevy will give it the old, we tried. But I think this time he might succeed, and I think they might be involved early and often. We'll see.
We will see.
Yeah. It's not a great free agent class this year. There's some good players there, but, teams like Edmonton and Toronto are looking for the same type of guys. So it's a little bit harder to compete with them when you can say, you can come and play with Connor McDavid or Austin Matthews or whatever. But, it's going to be... it's going to be a very competitive offseason for the GMs, for sure.
From Corey, is it time to move on from Hellebuck and try a rebuild instead of accepting mediocre play every year? Oh.
Well, and that was a popular sentiment. And for me, okay, here we go. If I'm trading two guys, number one is probably Kyle Connor.
Yeah.
He's still considered elite. He's got a lot of good things going on. You see a $12 million forward? Fuck no. He's just too inconsistent. He's a black hole defensively. He's he's been shown to be not loved by the coaches that are coached the Olympic team and the Four Nations Cup. They saw his warts, and he ended up sitting more than he played.
Right.
He still has a big perceived value. I trade him to somebody in the East Coast. Maybe look at Philadelphia, look at a Travis Konechny and somebody, or look at a team and say, we'll take, like a second line winger and your first round pick this year. Make a big splash that way. There's a way to make a trade, but he'd be the number one guy to trade. And the number two guy to trade, which I think he would probably generate the most interest, would be Connor Hellebuck. Any team that thinks they're a goalie away from a Stanley Cup, like the Edmonton Oilers, would dive all over him. Here's the problem: what could the Oilers possibly give us to make us want to take Hellebuck? I don't know their farm system very good, but you want a team like maybe a Buffalo or something, but their goaltending's been okay. Does Hellebuck, does Buffalo give us Ullmark? I take him as a goal, or not Ullmark. Sorry, I forget his name, the goalie's name there. But yeah, it's it's one thing to trade these guys, but and Hellebuck's got a great contract, very very serviceable for an elite goalie.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Is it time to trade him? Yeah, probably. I don't think we have to worry about that. I think he'll let us know next year. Next year's a big year for a lot of this stuff. So I know the Jets would not force him to stay if he doesn't want to. If he asks to be moved, they'll move him. So that's that.
Yep.
Thanks, Corey.
From Sparky, why did the Jets let a physical defenseman like Brendan Dillon leave Winnipeg? Another Chevy F up.
Yeah, Sparky called it a fuck up for sure. I saw that this afternoon. He texted it, and we talked about this like a year ago.
Oh wow. Still relevant.
Brendan Dillon was heartbroken. You know, he did not want to leave here. You know, we don't get a lot of players that say they love Winnipeg and they want to stay here. But he's a Canadian kid and he gets it.
Yeah.
Tough.
Yeah.
Not the best defenseman, but compared to DeMello, he's Bobby Orr. You know what I mean? He's a decent skater. He's tough and physical.
Yeah.
He wanted to be here. He wouldn't have cost you an arm and a leg, and he was younger. Like, to me, it's a complete no-brainer. You know what, Spark? Maybe we should send Chevy and his guys. Sometimes I don't know what goes through these guys' minds. I don't care how much the coach likes him and when he was at his best. Everybody could see DeMello was already starting to get weak. And you got a guy like Dillon. Basically, I remember in the exhibits, he said, I want to come back next year.
Oh, wow.
And they don't even offer him a contract. But come on, Chevy.
Yeah.
You know, see, now I'm starting to get down on Chevy, and I want him gone too. I'm just fucking tired of these guys as GM for life. Yeah, I'm at a point where I'm pissed off now because I like Brendan Dillon. Yeah. Like, he going, and he's not even a really tough guy, but he's a gamer. He'll fight anybody. He'll stick up for his teammates. And he just was not that bad a defenseman. I like him. He's a great third pairing defenseman, and he could get by in a pinch as a in the second pairing too. But geez, I like Brendan. Oh well.
Yep.
Thanks, Bart.
From Ben, it's obvious to most Jet fans that the stretch after the Olympic break may have saved Arneal or Chevy's job. How much of a leash would you extend to them if our season starts off behind the 8 ball once again? Get him out of here.
That's a question for Chipman. Like they said, they're so faithful. I think that Chevy and Arneal are on extremely short leashes. But do I actually believe that?
Shot callers, perhaps.
Yeah. They need one of those shot collars like you see in the prisons in the old movies where they... But I can see Chevy outlasting Arneal, let's just say that. And at the first sight of adversity between the start of the season and Christmas, you could see Arneal walking the plank. I think he's on a pretty short leash. Like, there's no way they were going to fire him this year after coming off a President's Trophy here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And there was no way they were going to fire him after the way the team saved his job after the Olympic break. They played pretty well.
Yeah.
So I think Arneal's on a short leash for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right, from Joe, would moving Helly to better his future and work on their own at the same time have been the right move?
Well, would it have been? Sure. Can it still be? Sure. Like I say, let's revisit this whole Hellebuck thing in a year, and just keep something in mind, guys. If Mike McIntyre from the Free Press doesn't ask the question, this is a non-issue.
Right.
There's some people who believe that when Hellebuck said that at the exit meetings, it was kind of like choreographed by a lot of the leadership group. Instead of them all saying it, Helly was going to say it. He took his time, thought about it, and said it correctly. But there's no doubt that, I mean, these guys just they're at their age, they want to win, and this team should have been a winner. Just makes you wonder what was the outlier, the year before winning the President's Trophy or last year with them shitting the bed. Probably last year a little bit because they lost a bunch of players, underestimated the players' value, and they signed a bunch of guys that were old and slow. But you won't hear me complain about Taves because I like Taves, but he's my guy when I was growing up.
Yep.
When I was growing up, that's when he was growing up. Well, me too. But I still haven't grown up. But yeah, no, they went the wrong way, and
yeah,
that was tough.
Mm-hmm. And another from Joe to wrap things up for questions. A few teams around the league are seeing recent success with the long rebuild plan coming to fruition. Is it time for the Jets to follow that and make some moves for prospects to build for their real future, or to keep trying for next year with an aging roster?
Well, they've committed to the aging roster, right?
They have. Yep.
So okay,
It'd be
let's
nice
just
to
say
balance
this.
it out, but
If they have another horseshit year next year, I think they revisit it and go, maybe we made a mistake. I could see them moving out Hellebuck. I'd move out Morrissey and Connor.
yeah.
Shifley wants to be a Jet for life. He wants to play with one team, so he'll end up staying and pad his stats as the organization's top scorer and that while they're losing, and maybe try to mentor some of the young guys. But yeah, I mean, I don't think we can have another off year like this. And that's the question. Was it an off year? I don't know. Like, I think it was based on the personnel we had. And then the year before the personnel we had.
There was a lot of comparison to the previous year.
Well, that's right.
And how could there be?
And if you compare them, the team the previous year was probably full value for the way they played. They stuck to, when Rick Bowness, before he left, he had set them up pretty good with a good defensive system and a work ethic and a commitment. And we lost a few guys, and like I said, the guys we replaced them with, and like I say, it's funny. I get mad at Pearson, I get mad at Gus Nyquist, but it ain't their fault.
That's
they
true.
were offered the money. It was the guy whose fault it was Chevy. So, yeah, is it time? Yeah, unfortunately, Joe, they made the decision 2 years ago to stick with the aging core. I don't think that decision's carved in stone, but I do think that it's going to be in play for one more year. Let's just say that. And
I could see
they'll
that.
reevaluate it at the end of this year, and we'll see where they go from there. But if I had to guess, these guys still have so much belief in each other where if it's ill-founded or naive, I don't know. But it's, I'm not in that room, and it's not for me to say. But I mean, we all see what we see, right?
Yeah.
And if we can see it, why
If
can't
not
they?
better sometimes.
Well, sometimes it's better to be on the outside looking in, right? But yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was awesome. Lots of, I like, you know what?
No,
I
that's
like,
awesome.
I do
Y'all
like,
should do that more.
yeah, for sure. Maybe do it like, 4 times a year. Do it at the quarter pole, at the halfway mark, and just have guys send in questions. Or, you know what? I've always been of that opinion, like, and I always say, send them in anyway. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
If, you know what? If we can make a full show of the questions, I'd rather do that instead of me blabbering what I think, and I'll answer the questions that you want to hear. Hey,
Yeah.
what
works out for
a
everyone.
concept, eh?
Yeah.
I would love next year to somehow, I'm not making any promises because I don't have the technology yet or how to do it, don't know how to do it. More so, I'd love to have a call-in show. I'd love to have some guys get on here and say, Mitch,
That'd be
you're
fun.
full of shit, you idiot. Fuck you. Whatever, But no, that'd be fun. And yeah, so I'm going to look into that this summer, and maybe during the preseason, if I can figure it out and if it makes sense, do a test run or something,
Yeah.
whatever. But,
We have one more question from Sparky in
yeah.
the comments. He's asking, did Bonus leave because his wife was sick or just couldn't stand management? 1-0 for Minnie, he then says.
What was the last thing?
1-0 Minnie?
Oh, that's tonight.
Ah.
They're playing. Hey, thanks, Sparky. Oh, no, it was definitely family. It had nothing to do
Yeah.
with sick, no.
That'd be a
You
good
kind of remember, too, Bones was already retired, eh? And that was probably one of the reasons he did. But no, for sure, it was definitely family. And then when his wife got better and Columbus asked him to coach, he said,
Yeah.
felt good. So our loss, their gain, and we got our meal out of it. I shouldn't crap on Ernie. He's just maybe he wasn't ready. I don't know. He did a lot of weird shit.
Questionable choices.
Yeah, he did. He did a lot of weird stuff. But Bones was funny too. He was stubborn in his own way. But funny thing, they're both ex-Jets. They both played. Like, this isn't the first time Bones has been behind our bench. I believe he was an assistant coach back in 1.0 days. So yeah, whatever.
Yeah. He says he should have just taken a leave of absence then. LOL.
Well, yeah, Sparky. Maybe we should talk to him about that. But no, for sure, you're right.
Yeah.
He probably did, just like Paul Maurice kind of did too, until he got 2 Stanley Cups and he's living in Florida. Says whatever. I think Maurice still has family here. I think his kids still go to school here.
Perhaps. Well, yeah, some friends.
Because he mentions his daughters in the university or in school here in town. So,
they used to, at least, I know that.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
I think Hardy has a little announcement here for us.
I do. We are going on a bit of a 2 or 3 week break just to give us a little time off and maybe you guys some time off. But we'll hit you back with anything that comes up that's exciting or interesting. We'll be sure to do a little snippet of some sort to keep in touch. And
I mean, I know there's a lot of really good podcasts out there, and I've noticed already the guys are hurting for contact and they're just pounding the same narrative.
Yeah.
And that gets, it gets a little bit tiresome. Not that it's bad, but it's just tiresome. Like I said, if something comes up, I'll pop a couple of shorts out there or something, and I don't expect to see a lot happening until, once the season's finished, when it's officially done, then you'll see GMs getting together and talking, maybe making some trades, and got a funny feeling Jets are going to try to be busy. I hope I really hope that Chevy realizes that the fan base is looking for something big.
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 Yeah.
Because they've got to.
They want their whiteouts.
Yeah,
right?
well, let's say. Hey,
let me tell you, people want them.
If you're gonna commit to the core and you want to win, you better do more than signing Gus Nyquist and Tanner Pearson. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, I know one of the questions that came out was about the draft pick. I don't think I trade that draft pick unless, and I've said this, unless we get a top center with term or team control for 7 to 10 years. Yeah. Well, control you only get 7 years up to their RFA years. After that, they're UFAs. But like I said, as much as I love prospects, and if you can groom, draft a good kid and then you have them for 10 years, that's great. But like I say, they're unknowns until they play. So let's swing for the fences, Chevy. If you're going to use that pick, don't be diddling around with second and third line centers. Let's go for some real studs. As they say, stud it up. Studs.
Go for
studs.
it. Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks for tuning in. Give us a like. Send it to a friend. And we'll see you in a few weeks.
Yep.
Whenever we have some more news to share with y'all about our hockey world over here.
Yep. I think what I'll do is... I'm going to look for my favorite
Taiwan.
They're from Taiwan.
Or
my favorite, I always get Taiwan and Thailand mixed up, but my favorite Asian headbangers. Let's go!